Well, thank you for joining me for another iTWire video with top international executives. I have with me for the third time now, Serguei Beloussov. He is the CEO and co-founder of Acronis. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, I'm
glad to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm very glad to be here too. Thanks to Acronis for sending me to Singapore to hear about a new product development. Now, one of the announcements you're going to make is about blockchain. Can you please tell us how blockchain is the thing of the moment. Everyone's talking about blockchain. People are doing huge conferences. And so it's very interesting and exciting to hear that you're integrating this. So how are you integrating blockchain into Acronis' products and services?
Acronis' main value for end customers is that we enable complete management, storage, and protection of data.
Yeah.
And in management, storage, and protection of data, there is really five main things to worry about. One of them is safety. Data should not be lost.
Absolutely.
That we did before. One of them is security. The bad guys shouldn't get access to data.
And we spoke about encryption last time. Great.
Encryption last time, yes, exactly. One of them is privacy. We want the right people to look at the data. And that's what we did before. One of them is access to data, which needs to be fast, needs to be everywhere, and that's what we did before. Well, there is a last one, the fifth one, is the fact that you need to know authenticity of the data, including whose this data is and whether this data has not been modified. And that is very important. The unique quality of digital data, it's that it's very, very easy to modify, and it is very, very easy to copy. And so it's very difficult to determine who was the original owner and what was the original data.
I mean, you're talking about the integrity of the data.
Integrity, but also
ownership,
and also the fact that it's the actual data. That this is a document, which is their document, which is not being modified.
Not tampered with. I mean, people talk about
integrity of data is something different. In the data world, integrity is mostly related to the fact that data is not corrupt and it's readable. So you can have a PDF document, which is, if it's corrupt, you cannot open it. Versus when it's modified, you can open it, but it just says a different thing. And it may say it in a very consistent manner, but it will be just not the accurate information. And blockchain is in technology and set of sort of ecosystem partners and products, which enables to ensure in a very efficient manner the fact that data is authentic and who owns the data. And so it's natural that we extend our platform to support blockchain. There are many ways to enable that, but at this point we believe that blockchain is the most interesting and most exciting and it's also most sophisticated way to enable data integrity, in your words, so authenticity and ownership of the data, and it's also the most efficient. We believe that there is a lot of data, and so anything you do with data has to be easy and efficient. Unless it's easy and efficient, there will be a lot of data which will not be covered by it. And so that's why we extend to blockchain.
Will the blockchain technology be used in all of Acronis' products from consumer up through to enterprise, or is it only in your enterprise products first?
So we are not focused on any type of customer. We are focused on data and on our partners. And so our partners will use our platform to support different types of customers, and they create products and solutions and packages for different types of customers. Now, our view is any of our partners should be able to offer to any customer for any data, ability to ensure that it's authentic and who created it originally, and so who was the original owner of the data. And so it doesn't matter, consumer or a very large business. The data, this, megabyte of data, we should be able to say, this guy originally created it, and this data has not been modified from the point it was created. Or it was modified here by this guy, here by this guy, and then this in this way.
And so is there going to be a screen in the different products that shows when that data was saved and when it was opened, and sort of like a ledger or a recording or something?
I'm not going to comment about specific products, and I think at this point we are not, but in general, even the word screen is questionable, right? So maybe in the future, there will be no screens, right? So you will have a direct connection from computer into your brain. So no screen.
Yeah,
so screen is already a very limiting thing.
Sure, but I mean, like, there has to, for people to make use of this information, you have to be able to query the data to say, hey, when were you modified? When were you saved? When were you opened?
You don't query the, in case of blockchain, you don't query the data, you query this distributed database, data log, which is kept by multiple unrelated parties, and so, and it's maintained through encryption, and so you can query it about whether this data was right or wrong and whether it was modified, yes. But again, I don't think we've decided to specifically comment about how this will work in our products. It's coming soon, and as it will come out, we will make it known.
Sure. And I mean, a lot of people say that with Bitcoin, I mean, the true invention wasn't the digital currency; it was the blockchain. I mean, that's what people are getting all excited about. So, I mean, when was it that the sort of penny dropped for you that, hey, this would be a great thing to add to our products and services? It must have been sometime in the last couple of years.
Yeah, so in the last couple of years we realized the value of blockchain, and the last about a year we are working on the products.
And you know, what might a blockchain 2.0 or 3.0 look like? I mean, how can it be refined? I'm assuming your developers are trying to improve it, or?
I think with blockchain, naturally there is 3 directions. And I'm not an expert in blockchain yet.
Sure.
We have a special people who are experts in blockchain, and I'm just the CEO, and so that would be better to ask them.
Well, I do remember in our first interview, you did tell me that you were studying rocket science. So
I was
pretty
studying
smart.
rocket science, but the fact of the matter is, there is one issue with blockchain which is related to objective performance and scalability of blockchain. There is many transactions in the world, and the value of blockchain is that it will enable number of transactions to go up another 1,000,000 times. And so today architecture of blockchain, both from the software and hardware perspective, is limited. And so if you go to Bitcoin examples, there is many Bitcoin exchanges where transactions take minutes or even tens of minutes. And that's of course area for improvement. I'm not very concerned about this. If you remember when the internet came about, it was very slow. We had 4.8 kilobit modems, or 4.8 thousand bit modems.
I remember that I had a 300 baud modem, and then I had
and there is even 960
I remember that.
modems, and so then now we are in a
Gigabit
10 gigabit world, and so that's a matter of time, but there is a lot of innovation which will happen to have this happen. So that's one area. The second area is the area of sort of supporting libraries which enable a lot of different transactions on blockchain, which enable much easier creation of software around those transactions with different types of data. You know, today you have libraries for smart payments and for a lot of other different things, but we believe the number of libraries and tool sets and toolkits in this area will grow, because, for example, our innovation will be a little bit in the area of blockchain itself, because the amounts of data we deal with requires us to enhance blockchain, but most of our innovation will be related to the way we support different use cases of our customers with a relatively off-the-shelf blockchain technology. And the final area, which will continue to be an area of contradiction and area of conflict and discussion, is the area of safety, security, and privacy of blockchain itself. And I think there's still going to be significant amount of innovation. The general architecture is there is a blueprint, but it still can be significantly enhanced, and today it's still significantly vulnerable. It's the best what you can do from the standpoint of having the privacy, security, and safety with authentication and ownership, but it's still vulnerable.
Are your partners excited about the new development? I mean, have they been asking you have they been talking about it, or is it something that you've...
I'm a scientist and an engineer, so I'm usually approaching this in such a way that described in one of the famous science fiction books, which were part of my youth. And in that science fiction book, there was people who would only work of problems which are known to have no solutions.
Yes.
It is boring to work of problems which are not known to have no solutions, even in case the solutions are not known. And so blockchain is one area where solution is known, so it's one level less exciting. And so it's okay, it's a natural thing for us. We are very happy to provide more value to our partners.
Sure.
And one thing which we are doing here is really making Acronis platform as a platform for profit for our customers, for our partners. And so naturally making it more complete with supporting authenticity of data is very good, but I'm not, that's not sort of the most exciting thing I could think, but it's pretty exciting.
Sure. Are there any other exciting things that you're working on? I suppose that you can't tell us about it because it's top secret.
Yeah. So we have a lot of exciting things which are coming out over the next 12 months.
Sure.
And it's going to be probably the most exciting area time for the company since ever. And the news will start coming out from July onwards till July next year, non-stop, with new products, new versions of old products, and new technologies, and so it's a generally very exciting time.
Well, I mean, it always is. The best is still yet to come, as far as I'm concerned anyway, and it certainly sounds like it is for Acronis.
Well, for us, what we want is to provide most amazing platform for our partners to make money on providing most exciting ways for customers, which are easy, reliable, fast, efficient, complete, to store and manage and protect data. That's exciting. We can protect data. That's exciting.
Well, I just popped into my mind. There's a company called Veeam who talks about availability. They say it's not about backup; it's about how quickly you can restore. What does Acronis do in that regard about availability?
Well, I mean, we are about availability as much as Veeam, in fact, more than them. And I think it is about availability, but it's also about protection. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
In a way, availability is about having your systems always run, and protection is about ability to be able to go back and to go back to a previous versions of the system. Definitely availability is one of the value propositions of our platform.
Sure.
Because
well, it's become a thing that you have to have.
Right.
People want it. It's not about how quickly you can restore. It's about how quickly you can be back in business, and or not even be down at all.
Yeah, but I think our vision is broader. It's not about just availability. Availability is about restore and be back in business, and it talks about safety. But our vision is about overall management, storage, and protection. And so it's not just about the fact that something broke and you can be back in business, but it's also about you're in business, but you want to control who has access to your data. It's also about you are in business and you want to make sure that your data is authentic. It's also about you are in business, but you want to make sure that your data is it's very fast to access. It's also about making sure that the bad guys don't have access to your business. You can be very available, but you can have bad guys reading your data, and you can have your data be read by the wrong guys. So our vision is broader. Availability is just related to safety. It's just related to the fact that your system and your data never lost. So your system and data are always on. It is very, very important. And Veeam is a great company, and I think they're good, but they are focused on larger enterprise, and they're focused on this one very good scenario of availability. We want to go and make sure that it's about all of the storage management and protection of your data and your systems, not just availability. Availability is very narrow.
Your cloud must be growing at an exponential rate. Any stats or facts or figures
I think we're going to disclose stats on the conference.
Sure. Because I mean, it's just, I mean, cloud has just become, everyone's using it, everyone's got it, and it's growing and growing. Yeah,
cloud is definitely becoming everywhere. Like if you look around, there's lots of clouds and now it's not really a rain season, but there's big clouds every day.
Well, that's Singapore. It's supposed to be raining at 3 o'clock.
Right.
Well, in Australia, we're still waiting for our NBN to come along. Otherwise, it takes people weeks to upload their whole computers to the cloud. But that's something they're working on. In Singapore, you don't have that problem.
Well, in our case, we have ability to do initial seeding. That means you can request us, or you can send us a disk with your data.
Okay. Is that for consumers or is it only for businesses?
I think it's for everyone, and it can be enabled by our partners or not. And then even you send your first set of data to the cloud, thereafter the subsequent upgrades are very fast. And so in countries with slow internet, Australia is okay, but there are countries very slow internet, like Germany. A lot of customers use initial seeding.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't know that was available. Any final messages you want to give to the people watching?
I think very important message for us is we believe that the data is very, very important, and it needs to be protected in a complete and efficient and most easy way. And we enable very broad set of partners to compete with each other, but also to cooperate with each other to offer the right level of protection. And so if you have any data, make sure that it's protected and choose the right partner using Acronis products and technologies to offer the right protection for you.
Okay, well, I look forward to your press event in the next half an hour or so, and your keynote speech tomorrow, which we'll have available for iTWire viewers. Thank you very much.